Hello everyone, today we're going to do actual workout in the garden. If you have a garden, you know what it's like, and it's a lot of work, but it brings a lot of blessings and it brings joy. I'm going to focus today on actually working in the garden. If we have any distractions at all, let it be a bumblebee or a finch or just a beautiful sight like that, or maybe even my neighbor's dog named Denarius, who's barking in the background next door. We want those good distractions. Going to plant 3 plants in the cottage garden, and I'm real excited. I got a good deal. I got 20% off. They were having a big sale at Oakland Nursery. These are high quality plants. This is a sedum. It's a red sedum. Oh my goodness. Autumn Joy Stone Crop. And I love stone crop ground cover. I had a stone crop years ago and it was pink and it trailed off, and it was quite amazing in another property where I lived. So I was excited to get this. It was marked down from $12.99 to $10.39. I got a really good deal on it. For the size of the plant, it's a good size plant. And this is a perennial, will come back every year. So this is a new addition to the garden. It will turn red in the fall. And this is what it's supposed to look like. Wow, yes. So I'm excited about this for the fall garden. Now we'll be going into late summer soon, and I wanted a pink flower. To me that spells summer, and I don't know, I can even go into the early fall with pink, and I don't mind it at all. This is a Vinca, and it's an annual, and it was marked down at 20% off, and I just couldn't resist it. I just thought it looked gorgeous, and I just think it looked beautiful here. If it produces any seeds, I will collect those seeds and try to reseed this plant next year. See, we have underneath in the ground, we have spring bulbs, and I'll be planting more. I always add on to the tulips and the hyacinth every year. And I don't want to overcrowd this with a perennial on this side. I just decided to put an annual here. But you can always save the seeds for annuals. Most annuals can be reseeded. And this is a lantana. It's an annual and it's gorgeous, and it looks like a fall flower. I love it. Here's the tag. Lantana. And it's just gorgeous. And it's an annual also, and I'll collect those seeds. Boy, do I want to collect those seeds. Look at that. Beautiful for fall color. Orange and yellow combination there. Now let's look at edible herbs in the cottage garden. We have 2 parsley plants. We're into the second year. I planted these 2 years ago, and they have really produced quite a bit of parsley. It's just gorgeous as a flower. I decided to let it flower off. I love the look of it, and I can still use these parsleys. It's just a little bitter right now. The parsley down at the bottom is what I would use. I like to kind of change things up in the garden. I don't like it to be the same. That's another reason why I use annuals. I don't want everything to be permanent. I really want to increase the amount of herbs that I have in this garden. And I do have a new thyme plant. I grew this by seed. Now, Oakland Park didn't have any basil plants, but Lowe's did, and we got some today when we were shopping for groceries at Aldi. It's in the same shopping center. So I waited till the next day to actually do the planting. I have 5 plants to plant now. I've got 2 herb plants. This is exactly what I needed for the garden. I wanted these basils because there's so many good appetizers and entrees you can use with basil, and it smells so good. And these were only $5.38 a piece. So if you have a Lowe's near you, be sure to check it out for low prices on herbs and other plants. Planting perennials and annuals in the ground involves digging a hole twice as wide as the root ball, loosening the roots, and backfilling with soil. Key steps include proper site preparation, correct planting depth, and immediate watering. Because we had a great deal of rain this morning, it really helped loosen the soil, so I didn't have any problem whatsoever. Boo Boo has really been taking an interest in this gardening project of mine, and she has been circling around, enjoying herself as much as possible. I will need to dig these holes a little deeper behind the scenes, and then we'll be ready to plant. This project went very well. I love getting my hands into the dirt. That's how I know I was born to be a gardener. If you love putting your hands into the dirt without gloves, that's a good indication. Now we have the flowers planted and the basil planted. We're going to put some mulch around each plant to hold in the moisture into the soil for the roots and so they don't get dried out. The most economical mulch there is for us is to make it ourselves, and it's a temporary mulch. Eventually goes into compost into the ground and enriches the soil. It's oak leaves, and we have a leaf mulcher. It's huge. It's a big orange machine that we used, and I don't have as much as I'd like in leaf mulch. We didn't collect as many leaves as I would have liked. In the late fall, a wind came in. We had a storm one time and blew a bunch of leaves away that we needed for compost and temporary mulch. But that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to put leaf mulch around each plant, and this is a great idea. And you can use, of course, garden store mulch. I used to spend a lot of money on black mulch, and I have cut back on that, so we're saving money this way. I did purchase some mulch for some other areas in the vegetable garden, and we're going to be going back there very soon as I finish this mulching in this cottage garden. And the leaf mulch is in this bag. See, we don't have that much left. I've been using it, quite a bit of it lately. It was almost, well, 3/4 of the way full. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a handful, and this is real easy, and then just put around like each plant, just around the roots like that. And that will help to hold in the moisture, and it will break down and enrich the soil for next year also. I just kind of throw it on, just a handful. I don't stress over it. So you can save money by using your leaves, maple leaves, oak leaves. Oak leaves are actually the hardest to break down. That's why we bought that leaf mulcher. We are finished, and I used all of the leaf mulch. There wasn't too much left. I just put it in some other areas between the plants, and it will help hold in the moisture. And especially I was concerned about the basil, because they started to go into shock a little bit, and I hope they're okay. Now we'll take a look at the Three Sisters garden, where the bush beans and pole beans are beginning to produce blossoms. Beans and peas in particular provide nitrogen for your soil. We'll have rich soil for next year from beans, and we have pole beans also. They haven't produced flowers yet, but hopefully they will. And you see that insects have gotten in there and eaten the leaves. And this is organic, completely organic, so I'm not going to spray it with anything. There's something you can spray, I guess, to keep the bugs off it that's safe and organic. And I don't know what that is. If you do, let me know. But we have some zinnias down there. Also, we have crabgrass. Uh-oh. This is the problem. It's gotten way out of hand, and I want to mulch this. And I do have some mulch that I purchased from the nursery. I wanted to purchase a bale of hay, but my husband was with me, and he didn't like the idea of hay being in the trunk. I wanted some straw or hay. We need to get rid of this, and it's very tight. I can't even pull it out. I'm going to have to dig this out. So I'm going to take care of this, and then we're going to lay down some mulch. I'm going to create like a little pathway from here to the corn, between the corn rows, and I had laid down leaf mulch and it's gone into the soil as compost. So now we need regular mulch. What I'm doing here, I'm using a broad fork to dig up the crabgrass, and it is deep rooted. It is very heavy. I can't believe how heavy it is. Oh my goodness. Size of these crabgrass clumps, but look at that dirt on there. I can use that dirt, so I'm just gonna shake it off. And we don't want this crabgrass. If the city wants it, well, we'll give it to them. I'll put it out to the curb and some debris bags. We want those roots completely dead if we're going to use it for mulch. I got some more weeding to do, and they're going to lay that in mulch.
And I'm just using a little garden tool to get the weeds by the roots. I'm mainly focusing on crabgrass, where I see little pieces of crabgrass. It's very deep rooted and hard to get out. That's the worst problem I'm having. And also creeping Charlie popping up everywhere.
And here's the little pathway we made. And it was supposed to be brown mulch, but I mixed it with some of the leaves that were already there. And that makes it look more like a pathway instead of, this is not soil, it's black mulch. And this breaks down better than the brown mulch even, I noticed. But the red mulch takes forever to break down. That's why we're going to put the red mulch on a regular pathway, and I'll show you that pathway in a moment. This will work out just fine. This is amazing. And look at that corn. I just love it. Yeah, and let me know how you're doing on your garden projects too. I can hardly wait to hear about it. Let me know in the comments. And here's the pathway. We need more red mulch through here. It's more of a permanent mulch because we do not grow anything on this pathway. We didn't get enough mulch in the early spring to lay down through here. So that's what we're going to do. This is where we just laid down the mulch. After it rains a few times, and within a week or so, it will start looking like this. Yeah, it will wear down a little bit, and it won't look so bright. While I'm back here, I'll show you where we laid down the paper for the pumpkin vines. They're taking off really well. And after so many pumpkins start to produce, I usually trim the vines, so they won't be going too much further than this. I don't know if there's any that's going to take off for the middle, but I put some paper there just in case. Now it's not too late to grow certain herbs and vegetables by seed, by direct seed. All your cold crops that you plant in the spring, you can plant those in August. And right now is the time to plant cilantro and dill. If you're in growing zone 6B, you need to grow it by direct seed before August 15th. Here's a little area where we grow dill and cilantro, and I need to plant some more before the fall. My husband's not a fan of cilantro, but I love it. I also enjoy the coriander, and we're producing some seeds here. We can use those in cooking also. So I'm not going to use these seeds for growing more herbs because they'll take too long to dry to have a fall crop. I have some seeds left over right here, and I'm going to plant these. I need to lay down some topsoil. Now the dill can grow in very poor soil, but I'm not taking any chances. I want this to come up right away. It can grow in poor soil, but it takes a very long time. I'm not sure if cilantro can grow in poor soil or not. I think the soil needs to be more enriched. Therefore, I'm going to, even though I have tilled through here, I'm going to lay down a light layer of topsoil. I know because they already came up. This is an area to grow these herbs. From experience, you can see they're doing very well. So why not continue and extend a garden for a fall crop of the same type of herb? I made indentions for the rows, and we only go down 1/4 of an inch, so you don't cover with very much soil at all. But here's some seeds, and I'm just going to lay them down, and I'm barely going to cover these. In fact, I think they got covered a little too much. These are dill seeds, they're tiny. I'll just kind of flatten that out. Okay, that way they're not covered very much. Cilantro, I mixed a little compost manure. I'm going to go ahead and lay those seeds. I'm just going to pour out some seeds here and just kind of spread them around so they don't grow real close together. And hopefully something will come up. I'll keep the ground moist. I'm going to go ahead and water this. Give it a good soaking, and we'll keep this moist over the next 2 weeks or so, because it may take 2 weeks for it to come up, 7 to 14 days actually. And hopefully we'll see some sign of the herbs coming up.
Thanks for watching today. I hope I inspired you to do gardening on a budget in a small space, and may it bring lots of joy to your life.